Marco Silva's Fulham have started the season in superb form, driven by an intense, well-structured style of football. Silva's tactics emphasize structured pressing, where the team maintains discipline in pressing triggers, rather than constantly chasing the ball. This approach has allowed Fulham to effectively control key areas on the pitch and disrupt the opponent's build-up play. Their disciplined defensive structure combined with quick transitions has made Fulham a tough side to break down. Here's how you can replicate Fulham's tactics in FC25. Marco Silva this season has looked to set up Fulham in a consistent 4-2-3-1 structure, allowing for his side to defend with a competent and compact back four when out of possession of the ball, and when in possession of the ball to attack with a front seven, having the fullbacks joining the wingers in the wide areas whilst allowing for at least one of the defensive midfielders to join at the attacking outlets. For Marco Silva's team tactics, the tactical preset should be set to standard, as Silva wants Fulham to consistently maintain their shape, and this is down to if Fulham do lose the ball higher up the field, it will be very hard for the opposition to transition against them and break down their defensive structure. The build-up style required should be set to balance, allowing for Fulham to be able to successfully play out from the back and maintain possession whilst building their attacks from those deeper zones, or they might be able to go long and more direct and create those quick transition movements. Fulham are a side that do look to try and maintain as much possession as possible, but if that is not working in games, they can look to switch up their tactical approach and look to play those long through ball passes into the attacking forwards. The defensive approach should be set to balance, with the line height being set to 60, as Fulham do look to aggressively assert themselves higher up the field when out of possession of the ball. That can either lead to misplaced passes or turnover opportunities that can also lead to Fulham's attacking transitions. Now, if the side are not successful when trying to win the ball back higher up the field, they will look to drop a bit deeper and restructure their defensive approach, allowing them to set up in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 system, where Silva's side will look to create pressing traps and triggers in the central areas. When out of possession of the ball, the Cottagers are consistently looking to apply pressure to the opposition, making it very difficult for any potential attacks being built from the deeper areas to be successful. With the mid-block approach implemented, it can allow for a lot of flexibility to occur, meaning that at times you might see Fulham looking to play higher up the field and trying to compact and compress the opposition in their own half, whilst in other moments you might see them looking to drop a bit deeper and make sure that they are trying to protect the space just in behind their backline areas. As we take a look at the individual player roles, we'll start off at the front with the Mexican striker in Raul Jimenez, who will be set to the role of advanced forward with the focus being set to complete. This will successfully allow for Jimenez to be able to drift into the wider zones, whilst also at times looking to make those central runs and be the focal points in the attack. With the way that Marco Silva wants his striker to play, it can allow for Jimenez to be able to hold up the play and link it up very effectively with the players in and around him, whilst also being able to simultaneously move into the wider zones and add to the attacking overloads in the wide spaces. For the attacking midfielder position, Emile Smith-Rowe will be set to the role of playmaker with the focus being set to roaming. This will create a free role for the number 10, allowing him to pop up in the wider zones, creating numerical advantages in those areas, whilst also being able to attack the half spaces and play in between the lines. Emile Smith-Rowe will often look to help facilitate the offensive approach for Fulham, where Smith-Rowe can look to drop back and collect the ball in those deeper zones before driving forward with it and creating an overload either centrally or out wide. At times this season, we've also seen the number 10 overlapping the striker and being the focal point in the attack, and this is when Fulham have utilized ESR's goal scoring abilities. For the left midfielder, he'll be set to wide playmaker with the focus being set to attack. This can allow for Alex Iwobi to drift centrally and combine with the number 10, where he can look to help facilitate the offense or potentially pop off a shot or two from those central zones. Iwobi is very similar to Emile Smith-Rowe, where he's also a powerful runner with the ball. You will see him at times looking to drop a bit deeper, collect the ball before driving forward with it and creating numerical overloads higher up the pitch. For Adama Traore, deployed on the opposite flank, he'll be set to the role of winger with the focus being set to balanced, allowing for the Spanish midfielder to utilize his pace to gain an advantage for his side. And that can be when going forward and looking to break him behind, or tracking back and helping the likes of Tete defend down the wider right space. When in possession, you will see Traore looking to whip in a cross or supply a cutback into the box for one of the attackers. But he can also look to arc his runs into the central areas where he can maybe pop off a shot or two and put the ball in the back of the net. For the right defensive midfielder, Andreas Pereira will be set to the role of deep-lying playmaker with the focus being set to roaming, allowing for Pereira to add to the attacking outlet high up the field, almost functioning as a secondary number 10 in the build-up play in that final third. Pereira is also seen as a ball progressor in the side, where he can look to drop a bit deeper and help assist in that first phase of the build-up play, dropping into the open space and receiving passes under pressure from the opposition before looking to find either a pass or dribble his way out and into some space. For Sander Berge, deployed in that left defensive midfield position, he'll be set to the role of holding with the focus being set to defend, allowing him to often be the deepest lying midfield player, where he can look to successfully rotate the play in the midfield zones and sweep up and protect the back line. Alongside Pereira whereas Sander Berge will often be seen in that first phase of the build-up play, always looking to show for passes, get on the ball, and then look to progress it further forward. And if Marco Silva's side are struggling to break down the opposition, Sander Berge will often look to step up and add to the attacking outlet, whether that's looking to get on the ball in those deeper zones and drive forward with it, or potentially just look to play slightly higher up the field and add to the attacking outlets in and around the opposition's box. For the right back position, he'll be set to the role of fullback, with the focus being set to balanced. Both fullbacks are instructed to try and hug the touchlines and generate as much width alongside the wider midfielders. Tete can often be seen looking to overlap the wider right midfielder and add to the attacking outlet, whether that's looking to supply a cross or a cutback into the attacking zone. At the same time, as well, with his role being set to fullback, it can allow for him to maintain defensive stability down the wider right space. Whereas for Anthony Robinson deployed down that left-hand channel, he'll be set to the role of wingback, with the focus being set to balanced. He does have a bit more of an attacking role in this side, allowing for him to either overlap or underlap the left midfielder, before supplying either a cross or a cutback into the attacking zone. And with the left back being allowed to attack a bit more centrally at times, it can allow for him to pop up in the half space or on the edge of the box, either looking to supply a pass or create a shot opportunity for himself. And of course, with the focus being set to balance, it can allow for him to successfully track back and help defend down the left-hand channel. For Calvin Bassey deployed as that left-sided centre-back, he'll be set to the role of defender, with the focus being set to balanced. In this role, Bassey will look to try and defend against the opposition's attack, making sure that Fulham's backline is always in check. He also poses as a very physical aerial threat, whether that's in his own box or in the opposition's, consistently looking to tire in over the opposition and win the aerial duels. The Nigerian centre-back is also very quick across the ground, and this can often lead to Bassey beating his opponents to the ball when they are trying to exploit the Fulham backline area. Whereas new signing Joachim Andersen deployed in that right centre-back role, he'll be set to the role of ball-playing defender, with the focus being set to build-up, allowing for him to successfully receive passes from the goalkeeper and then play the ball further forward, either delivering possession into one of the midfielders or directly into one of the attackers. With the focus being set to build-up play, it can allow for him to at times pop up in the midfield and alongside one of the defensive midfielders. Anderson is also a very physical centre-back and can often look to outmuscle his opposition player, whether that's in the aerial duels or on the ground. Both of these players are also capable at trying to defend against those long balls or through ball passes over the top or in between the lines, where they'll look to recover possession and play it forward into one of the midfielders or the attackers. And then finally for Leno, he'll have the role of sweeper keeper, with the focus being set to balanced, allowing for the goalkeeper to successfully leave his line and maintain and try and contain the space between the goal and the back line. Quite often we have seen Leno win possession back and then play a pass into one of his defenders or one of the midfielders. Leno is also a very good shot-stopping goalkeeper and often will look to come out on top in the 1v1 scenarios. The keeper also has a lot of responsibility when it comes to building the Fulham attacks. He can look to play short into the backline and make sure that they are trying to develop an attacking platform to build up off of, or he can look to go a bit more direct with a long ball punt straight into the possession of one of the strikers. And when Fulham are in possession of the ball, they will still look to maintain that 4-2-3-1 structure. As already mentioned, this is a key fundamental element to the success of Marco Silva's side, making sure that if possession is lost, they're already in their formation and they can look to defend against the opposition. Now up front will be Jimenez, who does pose as a goal-scoring threat, whether that's with his movement in and around those wider zones or potentially centrally, or his ability to link the play very effectively with the players in and around him. And the three players just in behind the striker will be pivotal in trying to facilitate a lot of the offense for this Fulham side, whether that's looking to try and supply a cross or a cutback into the box from those wider areas, or potentially creating numerical advantages centrally by having one or two of them drifting into the middle of the park. The offensive platform is often generated by Andreas Pereira as well as Sander Berge, and even the likes of Anthony Robinson and Tete at times, with the likes of Sander Berge looking to maintain and hold the midfield zones, intercepting the play before playing those line-breaking passes further forward, and of course having the likes of Andreas Pereira deployed in a slightly deeper position but adding to the attacking outlet every now and then with those forward runs and movements. The wider zones will consistently be occupied by the fullbacks as well as the wide midfielders, where they will successfully look to pull the opposition out of their natural defensive structure and into those wider zones, generating a lot of central space for the other midfielders. Both the left and the right back are capable of adding to the attacking outlet, whether that's supplying a cross or a cutback into the attacking areas. And then finally, a large part of Fulham's success this season has come down to the backline being so good, making sure that they are trying to recover the space just in behind them and make sure that they are consistently trying to minimize the attacking threats from the opposition. For the team assignments, the captain should be Bernd Leno, with the free kicks being left up to Andreas Pereira, but if the likes of Harry Wilson is on the field, he can also step up and deliver from those set-piece situations. The penalty responsibilities are shared amongst Raul Jimenez as well as Andreas Pereira. And just like with the free kicks, Pereira will look to take them, but if on the field, Harry Wilson can also step up and deliver from those wider areas. The 3 players to try and supply a cross into the box from those corner situations should be Calvin Bassey as the target player, as he does pose as a very good aerial threat and does often pop up with a goal or 2 from those situations, and making the near post runs has often been either the likes of Bassey or Anderson, so you can look to alternate the two. And then at the back post, it can be one of Raul Jimenez or potentially Sander Berge. And there we go, people. That is how I'd successfully go ahead and replicate and recreate Marco Silva's 4-2-3-1 Fulham tactics in FC25. I do hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you don't mind smashing that like button down below and subscribing if you are new. We are on the road to 15k, so if you would like to be a part of that journey, please do join up with the Bomb Squad Gaming channel. It would be fan-damn-tastic to have you along with me for the ride. Anyways, until the next time, until the next one, I hope you have a smashing goddamn day. I'm out of here, and peace.